go.
Al Jeffery, thank you so much again for making the trip up from Melbourne to join us here for Sydney, networking in nature. First one of 2020, an awesome way to kick off the year. Everyone loved having you along, and it was a really timely theme, being around goal setting this time of the year. That's top of everyone's mind, coming back and wanting to make 2020 the best one yet. Just thought for those who couldn't join us, we might recap briefly some of the really interesting discussions that we had out there. First one I'd love to hear a bit more about again was the dichotomy that you were talking to around really wanting to have certainty and clear goals to pursue, but balancing that with the reality that there are things in this world outside of our control, and just that dance that you mentioned that's always evolving. Do you want to share that one with those who couldn't be here?
Yeah, I suppose it was just to speak to the tension that I know for myself I feel, and I imagine many people feel, especially in this time where we have this sense of urgency to do big things, to do them fast, to change the world. And it is the notion that we are creative beings and we have the beautiful ability to dream, to envision, to have desires and goals. And dominant culture kind of has a narrative that to be someone you have to achieve big things, or it has to do with your attainment in life. But at the same time, life unfolds according to its plan, not to our plan. And so if we are to have our happiness or our sense of contentment within ourselves be dependent upon the externalities of life, it's going to be a very rocky ride. And there are going to be many times where we are disappointed, where we don't feel like we're enough. And so it was really just an exploration into the space between having certainty and a goal that we reach for, because that feels invigorating, but also allowing life to unfold as it will.
There are two other things that were really interesting in what you talked about. One of them was, it came up again in the final debrief, and you might have to correct me on the order, but it was around the current, or the sort of dominant narrative around you have to achieve certain things and do certain things to be a certain kind of person, and you sort of flip that on its head. Is that the right order?
Yeah, so it was, for most of us, we feel we have to have certain things or do certain things in order to be somebody. But what if we flip that to what if we had to be somebody in order to have certain things and do certain things? And that by maybe acknowledging that somebody, the qualities of that person, we'd actually have less dependency upon the goals, and would be able to actually just rest in the life we actually seek without needing to attain certain things. But we still can, but we don't have that dependency to the outcome.
The last one I really enjoyed was the exercise around the 5 whys. So that was briefly sharing a goal that we had, but then drilling down, really trying to look beneath the surface, what's driving that goal. I found that, and I know everyone did, really interesting to look at what are the deeper motivations there and the deeper values that we're actually striving to manifest there. But did you want to maybe share that sort of philosophy as well? I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, just as a simple way to move beyond the kind of the goal on first impression, which might be to run a triathlon, and to ask yourself why 5 times. So why would running a triathlon be meaningful to you, or why would it feel meaningful to you? And the answer might be because I feel a sense of power in my body, or a capability in my body. And then you ask again, why will that sense of capability in your body feel meaningful to you? And it might come down to a sense of freedom. I want to feel free. And so you start to understand what I'm actually seeking is freedom in my body. And I might not have to run a triathlon to feel that. Maybe I just need to learn to relax a little bit more and dance a little bit more, whatever it is, but you start to actually understand what it is you're really seeking.
Well, I thought that was an amazing way to start the year, and thanks again, Al. That was hugely valuable. We're going to have to get you up again, or head down to your hometown of Melbourne sometime soon. That'd be good too.
Yeah, come on down. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, my brother.
Awesome.